for the country.
The Taoiseach Brian Cowan there. Well, Megan Greene is from the Economist Intelligence Unit that specialises in Ireland economic policy. She's with me in the studio. Thanks very much for coming in. The consensus seems to be that Ireland simply can't afford 5.8% on 85 billion euros. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think if you look at total liabilities of Ireland's biggest banks and also total public debt, it's around 4 times the size of Ireland's GDP this year. It's massive, so Ireland simply has too much debt. It can either choose to restructure its private debt by imposing a haircut on senior bank debt, or it can restructure its sovereign debt. And I think, you know, Ireland, the ECB, and the EU have all shown that they're willing to protect senior bank debt. So I think the best case scenario is that this bailout can sort of kick the can further down the road a couple of years so that Ireland can generate a primary surplus and then restructure its sovereign debt.
Okay, but a lot of people will wonder, well, the whole point of this bailout is to help the country and prevent contagion, the Portuguese and the Spanish and whatever falling down the same trap. But if the interest rate is so high, then that makes that much more difficult. So why set such a high interest rate? It doesn't seem to make sense.
Yeah, I think it has to because of how the special purpose vehicle has been structured. So it doesn't have a choice really on how high the interest rate is structured.
But we know the Germans did want more of a punitive rate than, say, the British, because we know that a lot of the German people are angry at the fact that they have to keep bailing out these countries.
Right. At the same time, they couldn't offer Ireland a lower interest rate than Greece is currently receiving under its own bailout package, which is about 5.2%. So it's slightly higher. But either way, you know, Irish banks have been borrowing money from the ECB at an interest rate of 1%. Now, you can't recapitalize the Irish banks by offering them a loan with an even higher interest rate.
Okay, so it doesn't sound as if then, according to your analysis and that of many other people, that the markets are going to be too impressed. Asia opens soon and, of course, the European markets tomorrow.
No, I don't think they will. I think Portugal is next on the list and will be right on Ireland's heels in requesting a bailout package.
So in the longer term then, if Ireland does default, you're saying it will be further down the road, so hopefully they'll be in a slightly stronger position. But are we saying that a line hasn't been drawn under this crisis, really, with this bailout package, that perhaps the Portuguese and the Spanish could follow soon?
Yeah, I agree with that analysis.
That's pretty downbeat.
It is. Unfortunately, I think it's realistic. I mean,
but the whole point of this package was to try and prevent that. So they failed miserably, you say?
Right, but there's simply too much debt. So offering loans at high interest rates isn't sufficient in trying to stabilize or reduce these levels of debt in the EU.
All right, we'll leave it there. Megan Greene, thanks very much for that. Thank you.
Sure.